The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think he missed the complete. He's crazy.
Side by side, Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags it back.
In each of the first two races, the defending champion denied lap-last challenges from his nearest rival. Race 2 gave the hotshot crop of rookies a dose of reality, dropping all but one out of the top 10, while a series stalwart from Italy finds himself higher in the standings than he's been in a long time. Who will make the next set of headlines? We'll find out in just over an hour when the checkered flag falls on Sonoma. You're watching the Global Sim Racing Channel and its live coverage of Race 4 in the Tidal Influence MX-5 World Tour begins now.
They hail from around the globe, and though separated by oceans, they gather in the virtual world to battle, to compete, to race. Whether they're former champions looking to regain the title, new and eager hopefuls striving for glory, or legends in their own time preparing to dominate. They're all here for one reason alone: to win. Today we'll find out whose name will be forever etched into the record books. You're watching the Blondies MX-5 World Tour.
Hello and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Tidal Influence MX-5 World Tour Race 4 at Sonoma Raceway. I'm your host, Bill Soup Zahn. With me today in the booth is the youthful sage, Ayrton Ellis. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director, Joe Peak, and the camera locations have been provided, as always, by Dougie Beard. Well, the final event of the three-race Japan leg ended with a whimper, as iRacing technical gremlins forced its postponement. So now, the Pacific Swing lives up to its name, traveling across the world's largest ocean to Sonoma for the first race of the California Trilogy. The weather today is partly cloudy skies, 82 degrees, track temperature of 107. There's a strong 17-mile wind from the north, 33% humidity, and it should make for a great event today. Ayrton, let's go ahead and talk about this track and its configuration.
Thanks, Bill. Well, this track's definitely a lot different from the full course layout. It has a lot of cut parts of the course as compared to what they drive in the NASCAR series. It's made of 12 corners, and it has a lot of elevation changes and some unique corners as well. Some big bumps for these guys as well, so it's going to be a challenging track for them. We have a lap guide as well.
Alright, we've got Richard Losper in the GSRC MX-5, so let's do a lap around Sonoma. The lap starts out almost like a street course with walls right on either side. Then you have the gentle bend of turn 1 leading you uphill, where it begins to tighten as you approach the braking for 2. This is an incredibly blind corner, and it's going to be very dangerous on the first lap when everyone bunches up. If anyone overdrives it, they'll be off into the dirt for sure. After that, you drift right to set up for 3, where it's just a little lift, and then you'll want to get the car settled for the right-hander. Once again, you can't see a thing until you're at the top, so everyone needs to be on their toes. Now we head back downhill and brake for 4, which is another one very easy to overshoot. Soon you're back on the power and straightening out the gradual bend of 5. You want to stay to the right to tackle the difficult carousel coming up. It starts out with a crest to take away all your grip, then the elevation just keeps dropping and the track just keeps turning, testing your patience the whole way. Once you spot your mark though, mash that right pedal down because this will be your best chance for a pass on the whole track. With the back straight composed of the drag strip, it's a nice stretch towards the heavy braking of 7, but it's never simple when it comes to Sonoma because the hairpin is a double apex with it being squared off. Hitting both with precision will be critical to your lap. At this point, you've hit the S's, and in the little MX-5, they're flat out and much easier than they are in some of the more powerful cars on iRacing. Once you come to the end of them, it empties into a short stretch leading to the turn 9 chicane. This is another possible place to make a pass happen, but make sure you're not too wide while navigating this slow pair of corners. It'll cost you time and is likely to cause contact between you and your competitor. Since 9 has slowed you down, you'll just hug the inside of 10 and let the car drift left. Just be aware you're braking much sooner than in the NASCAR version because the turn 11 hairpin happens way sooner and is far sharper. Plus, there's lots of leeway on the outside where it's all pavement and no wall for quite some time. That returns us to the front stretch, so we've now completed a lap
There
around
you have
Sonoma.
a lap around Sonoma. And there you have a lap around Sonoma. As we're looking at Richard Eklund, he's our fastest qualifier today. Let's go ahead and take a look at the standings now. We have a real dogfight at the top there between the Frenchman Evan Maillard and the Slovenian Juris Jelenko. They're only separated by 10 points. Jelenko has a few extra bonus points in qualifying and some clean driving points that have moved him a little bit closer. Maillard has 2 victories. He's won both races so far this season. But what's interesting is today, and Ayrton will talk about it later when he does the lineup rundown, is Evan Maillard could not post a clean qualifying lap, so he's going to start way down the list of qualifiers, way in the back, so we'll have to keep an eye on him. We look at some of these other guys. We have a rookie, Dakota Dickerson is our rookie of the season so far, sitting in 3rd. Now, Galink and McAleer aren't here today. John Deuce Allen has been able to put his first season Gremlins early lap problems behind him in 6th place. Let's give a big shout out to Joseph Arrow, the veteran, the grandfather of the series, sitting in a beautiful 7th position. So well done for Joseph Arrow. And we round out with Mora, Amjad Yaman, and Dries Nyes down there, rounds out the top 10. So let's go now to our keys to the race. And Ayrton's going to talk about what he thinks is important to have a good finish here today.
Well, I think definitely the most important thing here is going to be lap traffic. Not only is this track really difficult to pass on, but having to deal with drivers that may be a bit slower than you will be a big problem for these guys. And as pit stops come along, there's going to be a lot of fast drivers getting mixed up with guys that are lower down in the pack. So that should be an issue. Another thing to mention is the pit entry. It goes all the way down to turn 11 where it actually separates from the track, and it's one of the longest pit lanes. So these guys really have to focus on getting that pit entry right, and you could gain a lot of time from that, or lose a lot of time on the other hand. And another thing to keep in mind is that consistency is going to be a big factor for these guys. We talked to some of the drivers beforehand, mainly Dexter Castro, and a lot of these corners, very easy to go off track on the exit and get your car loose, maybe spin around, maybe hit another car. So these guys really have to keep the mistakes low, and that's probably going to be the key to success on this track. And the Keys to Race is sponsored by the Mountaintop Cabin Rentals.
Look at Dexter getting in the plug for our sponsor. We are really coming around here behind the mics. Let's go ahead, and we have another new feature here. This has been going well so far. It's the phrase that pays. And viewers, the Tidal Influence phrase that pays, the first viewer to email in after one of the announcers says the phrase that pays that you see on the screen right now gets added to the end of the season lottery with a chance to win $50. Hey, that's pretty good. So when you hear the phrase that pays, which I am not going to say right now, because if I did, then you'd email in and the whole contest would be over. Shoot an email to TI phrase that pays. That's Tidal Influence, TI phrase that pays at AOL.com. And make sure you leave your name so we can mention the winner at the end of the broadcast, okay? Let's see how long we have here. Looks like we have about 3 or 4 minutes to go. One of the things we can talk about, which is interesting, we have one driver in the Roadster. The Roadster loyalist, it's Jonathan Keir. And actually, he drives a yellow Roadster preservation car. And he's going to have an advantage today. Now, he's always here. I guess I should have checked to make sure that he's actually racing today. But if the Roadster was here, he'd certainly have an advantage.
That's true. Yeah, we've heard from some of the drivers that the Cup car actually has some difficulty on the corners with which gear to take, and some of the corners are very awkward in specific gears. Dex said that. Dex is all of our source of information for this broadcast. Dex said that as he got more speed into the corners. It wasn't as awkward, but it's definitely going to be difficult for some people. And even George Fike said that some drivers might end up blowing engines because of that on some of these corners.
Yeah, and we like to bring you important information that's topical, and of course, there is no roadster in the race today, so you can ignore everything we just talked about, the advantage. But, Jonathan Kerr from England missed a great opportunity here to get that roadster up the standings a little bit. I'd like to talk about some of the pressure these guys have had. We haven't had a repeat champion since Season 5 when Jan Koemans went back-to-back. Since then, we've had Season 6, we have João Freitas, and 7 with Richard Eklund, who's here today. And then, of course, last year we had Evan Maillard. There's a lot of pressure. Ayrton, have you learned your Shakespeare in school there? I think it was Henry IV that said, uneasy lays the head that wears the crown. And boy, I really killed my Shakespeare there, but certainly that's been the case. But a guy who seems to not have any pressure as he's won the first 2 races defending his championship is Evan Maillard.
Yeah, you're right about that, although I don't know much Shakespeare. But
apparently neither do I there.
I mean, he's not had it easy either. In both races, it was a head-to-head battle between him and Jurys Jelinko. I'm seeing a rivalry forming at a great speed because these guys are so close in speed. And Evan Maillard has had no race given to him so far this season. There's some other guys that have been really fast. Dakota Dickerson, he's showing a great job in his rookie season. And also some fast guys like Sam McAleer's done pretty well so far. Dave Galink as well. He's been a lot faster than he was in his rookie year last season. So there's a lot of fast guys. And of course the veterans. Jan Koemans, Sergio Mora, Richard Eklund, João Freitas. All those guys are going to be up there as well when they come to the races, of course.
Yeah, Okay, it looks like we're going to be able to run down the lineup here. The Frenchman wears his crown like a helium beret. It's very light on his head, so that works well for him. I've been looking for a Eklund Maillard battle, but again, the racing gods have separated them, and Eklund is going to be starting in the 3rd row, and Evan Maillard is going to be well back, so we're not going to be able to see that. I don't think, are the qualifying stats up yet? Can we do the lineups? Okay, Ayrton, why don't we go ahead and set the lineups?
Well, starting first on the grid due to the quick 6 gimmick is going to be Sergio Mora. Alongside him is Kyle Potty Potts. In 3rd place will be Dakota Dickerson, and in 4th place is Jurys Jelinko. In 5th behind them is Richard Eklund, and then who was our fastest qualifier, and Tomoki Kono in 6th. In 7th place is Carlos Torres. Joseph Arrow is in 8th, good qualifying for him. 9th is Tom Ratchie, and then 10th is Stefan Overgaard.
If we look at drivers in the second 10 here, if I pull up my qualifying, I wasn't expecting to talk here. Keep an eye on Benjamin Lanowet there, starting in the 11th position. If we look at the next set of 10 there, a guy to keep an eye on is George Fike. And if we go down to the very bottom, we'll see, we're looking for Evan Maillard. He is currently listed in 30th. I don't see a practice time for him, so let's hope he's there. Okay, the lights are up. We're going to go green. And they're off. You see that we have the blue car up in front. That's Sergio Mora, and he's followed by Kyle Potty Potts.
Dakota Dickerson again on the inside for turn 2. Looks like he might just get the position. Just has a little bit of contact with Kyle Potts, who actually is going to lose another position to Jurys Jelinko. A lot of guys got a lot more speed out of that corner on him.
Eklund battling back there in that pink car, running in about in 5th position, and there's a bump. Ooh. And that looks like Kono. Yep.
Yeah, he's spinning around. He's probably going to drop to around the end of the field. He's trying to get back on the track, but he got a lot of damage from that hit.
That's his first race this season, and it lasted 2 corners. The rest of the field through the back looks pretty clean. Oh, we have another car spinning. Let's see if I can figure out who that is.
Jeroen Ursum.
Jeroen Ursum saves it just before he puts it in the wall. He almost backed it in the wall. It looks like he's clean, so he's going to bring it back out. Let's go back to the front of the field.
Dakota Dickerson managed to get past Kyle Potts, so he's now in 2nd place, chasing down that lead on Sergio Mora. Dakota Dickerson, been a great rookie so far, had great runs in the first 2 races, looking to get a chance for the win in this race.
So if we set the top, we have Mora well out in front, comfortably in the lead, followed by our rookie, Dickerson. In third place is another rookie, Kyle Potts. Then in that pink car there is our Season 7 champion, Richard Eklund. Blue and yellow, my director is telling me.
Sergio Mora, I think, got a slowdown in the chicane. Yeah, he let Dickerson by, so Dickerson's going to lead the first lap of the race. He's now getting passed by Potts. Yeah, and Eklund. Bad start from Mora.
Mora drops from first to fourth. And leading our way across the first lap is our rookie, Dakota Dickerson. We have 2 rookies now running 1-2, Dickerson and Potts. I'm going to guess that Potts' car is a lime green car. And then we have well, I'm telling you it's pink, but maybe not. It's the Tampax car of Richard Eklund. And then the blue and black car of Sergio Mora. As we go through, that's the top 4. Jelenko running second in the standings, running in 5th place right now. Carlos Torres from Colombia in that brown-colored car running in 6th. Joseph Arrow from Italy having another great performance, running in 7th place. With the series sponsor Tom Marathi in 8th. And Deuce Allen behind him in 9th. And rounding out the top 10 is Marcelo Pajan.
Took us a while to figure out that name.
Yeah, and it's Marcello. I still made a mistake on it. Let's see if we can find Maillard, if he actually started this race.
Well, a little bit of contact between Eklund and Potts for the battle for 2nd place. Both of them continued to drive, but they lost a little bit of speed time from Dickerson ahead of them.
And there's Maillard. I see him on my standings, currently running in 18th position, our series champion, as he's made his way through about half of the field right now.
That's starting from 30th, so definitely a good start for him.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting for all the guys who have the Evan Maillard in-car camera on their screen. They're going to see a lot of passing going on. He's going to be something else there. He has a train of cars in front of him, though. There's Simon Van Doon in that, I'm going to guess, red and white color car. Maybe it's brown, I don't know. Brown and white. I was going to let the director tell me the names of the colors there. On my screen, it looks like ahead of him in the blue car is... Overgaard. There we go. That's a familiar-looking car there. Simon Van Doon currently running in 12th position. And now we're on Eklund, challenging Kyle Potts for 2nd position. Here we go. We're on board now with our Season 7 champion. He's looking. We're going to have the right-hander here. This is 7 and 7A as they're going to go through here. It's kind of a double apex. They come around. And now there's these corners that have no names. They look like corners to me, but they're not numbered. And they come up here. All right, we'll call them the S's. Then they come up to 8A, or 8 and 8A right here. Now, this is where, I don't know where you brake. There is no brake zone here. There's no brake markers at all. You kind of feel like Steve Buscemi in Fargo trying to bury his bag of money. He's got to stick a hatchet in the dirt somewhere so they know where to brake. Eklund does it well as they continue on. Eklund chasing Potts, running in 3rd. This is Eklund's first race this season. He's had to miss the first 2. He's probably not going to be first full-time. The series is doing the Pacific Swing with a lot of tracks in Japan, Australia, and California. So there's a lot of purchases to be made here, and Eklund's going to make a part-time appearance. He was here for our doubleheader that got washed away because of the gremlins. I hear someone talking. There's somebody with damage.
I'm looking back. Yeah, there's a big crash on the front stretch actually between Billy Bob Wright, Benjamin Lanoet and a couple other drivers. A lot of guys got into that. Dave Galink and Dexter Castro are two fast guys that actually have a lot of front damage from that.
Yeah, there you see Billy Bob Wright in that white and blue car there. As we're watching it on replay. Oh my goodness, it's a pinata full of bees there. You know that's going to be trouble. As they come around, we have one car going very wide on the outside. They're all going to merge together, and there they go. Billy Bob Wright gets arrested. He gets collected by several cars behind him. That's Billy Bob Wright sitting right in the middle as he X's it out. You know, that's one of the things there we talked about. There's no track rule for that final turn there, so you can see everyone taking 3 or 4 different corner exit lines, and they all came together.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a problem, especially on that part of the track. It's so narrow, so if one car spins out, they're covering more than half the track. Eklund actually gets off on the dirt coming out of the chicane. He's going to almost spun it around, but managed to save it. He's going to drop a couple positions, lost to Sergio Mora. Looks like Yershchenko's going to get a position as well, but great save.
Great save by Alvarez there as he almost lost it. So if we go back up to the front, let's set the front here again because we haven't been there for a while. It's still Dickerson and Potts. Now falling back a little bit is Mora. I'm sorry, picking up somebody. It was Eklund who dropped back one spot there. And so then we have a 3-car battle. Maybe we can stay on for a little while here. It's Eklund, Jelenko, and Carlos Torres there in the brown color car. Those guys are running for 4th, 5th, and 6th. It's a nice battle. Right now we're on board with Carlos Torres.
And some viewers might be wondering what happened to Tomoki Kono after that first lap accident. He decided to retire his car instead of coming into pit lane for repairs.
You know, my heart goes out to the poor guy. He's racing from Japan. It's like the middle of the morning there. It's like 3 in the morning where he is. So
Potts
it's a lot of dedication.
Potts is right back on the rear bumper of Dickerson. He's going to try to make a move going into 7. This is double hairpin. He's going to get the position.
And he kind of closes the door. He wouldn't let Dickerson do the over-under there. He kind of held his line. Dickerson's right behind him, though, now, as they come down through these S's.
Might make a move into the chicane.
They come up through 8, and now they're in that braking zone. Nope, they're just going to follow, stay in line. That's smart driving by those 2 rookies. Well done, boys. Uh-oh.
Yep, got to slow down.
I don't know if Dickerson got a slow down there or if he just got loose coming out of the corner. I think he just got loose.
To slow down.
Did he? Okay.
He went too far over. He's going to lose positions to Mora, Eklund, and looks like Jelenko as well.
Yeah, and there's Carlos Torres right behind him
side of him.
And there we go. Dickerson gets the spot back there. Pulls in, so he's going to take over. What's that going to fall him into? About 5th position, I think.
4th.
4th position.
Yeah, that gives Kyle Potts a big lead ahead of Sergio Mora in 2nd now. About 1.5 seconds.
As we... Oh, there's a spin. We have a spinner.
Oh! Yeah, it just got the dirt. Did he hit the wall there?
He went up on the hill, though. Yeah.
He hit the fence a little bit. I don't think it's bad enough, but he's losing a lot of time.
I don't think he got any of the fence at all there. I think he just took his car for a little mountain climb there. He's brought it back on.
He's going to drop all the way to 12th from that.
He takes it up the hill. He cranks it left. He avoids the chain link fence. Drives down the hill. Dips out of our camera view. And then comes back on the track. Let's see where he's cycled in at. I haven't cycled through my
12th.
Timing and scoring at 12th position.
Yeah, and in 11th, actually, right now, they're actually going to be promoted to 10th after that, is Evan Maillard. So from 30th to 10th in only 6 laps, that's a great run from him. He's about 13 seconds beyond the leaders.
That's truly amazing because he's had to go through all those drivers to get there, and he's only 13 seconds back. Yeah, on a track with almost no passing zones at all. There you see him in that orange car.
Kyle Potts has extended his lead to 1.7 seconds ahead of Sergio Mora. So it looks like he has some pretty good pace around here. Of course, Sergio Mora does have the pressure from Richard Ecklund right behind him.
There we go, back from Potts. He can see his pursuers behind him. That's Mora and Ecklund.
So we got information from Tom Ratchey that the pit window will be around lap 15, was it?
Right, and they're on lap 7 now, so that would be, if you subtract 15 from 24, we're looking at, lap 9 would be about the earliest they could come in. If I did my math right, and I think I did there. Speaking of Tom Ratchey, let's go ahead and jump to him if you could. He's running currently in 8th position. In a nice battle with, behind him is Marcello Pajan. And right behind them, we'll go ahead in that orange car, is Evan Maillard. So, and just ahead are the blue cars of Deuce Allen and the Italian Joseph Arrow. So we have a nice little 5-car train here. And the fastest of all of them is the caboose in that orange car of Evan Maillard. Let's stay on this for a little while here as we watch Maillard look to get around Pajan.
You know, Joseph Arrow, we were praising him for a good start to the season, and his highest finish so far has been 9th in the second race. But right now he's sitting in 6th pretty comfortably. Yeah. So great drive from Arrow.
Yeah. Look. Maillard was loose, and now look at the bite he's going to get here off this. I believe that's turn 7, I think. No, that's not 11, that's right. Working on Pajan.
He's going to go on the outside on turn. Actually, yeah, Pajan just lets him by.
Yeah. He knows that name on his in his rearview window there. Now, next on the Evan Maillard hit list is Tom Ratchey in that white and aqua-colored Tidal Influence car. Let's watch Maillard makes quick work of him as he goes to the inside. Ratchey gives him room. They're side by side. Now through the outside. And Maillard's going to get a little momentum here, but not enough as they're going to come down to 7. Maillard's going to probably peek to the inside, try to outbrake Ratchey.
This battle ahead of them between Allen and Arrow. They're going side by side between the double hairpin of turn 7. They're still side by side on the exits that go through turn 8 as well. John Allen has just a little bit ahead of Arrow. He's going to complete the pass on him for 6th place.
John Allen in that blue car stopped one of our title sponsors, Mountaintop Cabin Rental. So we have 2 of our sponsors running in a nice little train there. There's Joseph Arrow in that kind of spidered black and red colored spider car behind them. Rathy still ahead of Evan Maillard. This is a great battle.
Oh,
Rathy now looking to the outside of Arrow. Can't do it, and that's going to give Maillard an opportunity. As we have 3 wide in here where they are going to come together. Oh, they figure out where they're going to meet. They make room. They're coming down now. As we look from high above, Rathy on the inside, Maillard going on the outside. Arrow sandwiched in the middle. Arrow comes across the nose of Maillard, goes in the dirt, comes across, collects Rathy.
Both keep on going, though.
And coming out ahead of all of them is our defending champion, the Frenchman, Evan Maillard. It was scary, but he did the job. We're going to look back now from the in-car camera. Well, actually, we're still on the blimp. As you see, there's 3 wide now. We're in-car camera from the guy who had the best chop is Marcello Pajan. There you see Arrow and Rathy getting together, and Marcello makes it through following Evan Maillard.
Looking back on the leaders, looks like Sergio Mora has caught right back on the back of Kyle Potts, and right behind him still Ecklund, so 3-way battle for the lead at the moment.
Yeah, now Eklund was your fastest qualifier, but Potts was also pretty fast there as we have those guys. Potts, Mora in the dark-colored car, and then Eklund. Now dropping off the pace is Uros Jelenko, sitting well back in 4th place. Still has him in sight, but not really in this battle. As we see Potts, who had a tough break race 2 where he was taken out early. He's going to have to, when you're out of, there's so few races in this series with only 11. And look at Eklund close in on Mora right behind him. Doesn't bump him. If you make a mistake, it's really tough to get back up in the standings, and a win will certainly help Potts in that endeavor.
Now, it looks like the pit window is actually just about open now, so we're heading on to lap 10. So I'm wondering which people will try to make early pit stops and risk getting into traffic, or if some guys are just going to try to go as long as possible.
Potts, Mora, Eklund. 1, 2, 3. Kyle Potts not really that familiar with the underpowered MX-5. He usually drives something with a little
Eklund
more.
Takes a look. He's going to get on the inside of Sergio Mora through 7. Going to complete the pass, so Eklund up to 2nd place.
There you go.
Meanwhile, Evan Maillard is now in 7th place, 14 seconds back. Maillard might be able to get into the top 5 if he can get good pit stop down.
This is one of the nice features about this series is the quick 6 regrid, where you have Eklund, who was our fastest qualifier. He's had to work his way through, so far, 4 drivers to get into the 2nd position. And now he's got Potts ahead of him. He has one more job to do to get to the front that he's been trying to do for 10 laps. 24-lap race today. Pit window is open. You're looking on screen as they're coming right at you. Potts, Eklund, Mora. Now they're leaving you. We're looking at Galink and Alvarez right now.
Galink Dickerson's with him as well.
Galink with those bright fluorescent blue wheels.
Alvarez trying to get on the outside of turn 2. They almost touch a little bit. He's going to slot back in behind, but he's got Dickerson right there as well. Alvarez has a little bit of a bobble coming out of turn 2. These guys are all nose to tail right now.
Ayrton Dickerson's car looks pretty good after going that little off-road journey there. He still looks like he's got good pace.
Oh, and I
little
should
tap.
say that. He hits Alvarez in the back. Alvarez manages to catch it, but he's going to lose a lot of time. He's looking a little wobbly out of the corner.
Little too much pace that time.
He hasn't actually gained much time at all. After his spin that he had, he dropped all the way down to 12th. Right now, he's in 13th. After qualifying in the top 6.
Yeah, well, these guys are, as Richard Losper likes to say, serviceable drivers, and it's certainly not easy to get around them, contrary to what Evan Maillard has shown you.
Actually, Sergio Mora fell back. I'm just looking back on what happened. He actually tried to make a pass on Kyle Potts in turn 4. He ended up going off track, and he's now battling with Urs Jelenko and Carlos Torres in for 3rd position now.
Yeah, Jelenko, they were side by side for a while, but Mora was able to hold on to the position. Now, it'll be interesting to see if Richard Eklund pressures Potts there as before the pit stop, or if he's going to wait to do it after. It seems pointless to me to really make too much of a gamble before the pit stop, before you know how things shake out. I mean, it's very possible Eklund, with his experience, could jump Potts in the pits and not have to do it the difficult way. It's much easier to pass him while you're stopped.
But Potts comes from the VSRA series, which actually has pit stops, so he's not as foreign to it as some people may think. this battle for third is going to be pretty interesting. Because Moore did have contact with Potts and Eklund when he tried to make that dive in turn 4, so he might be a little bit slower as Yurchelenko actually getting a run. He's going to go to the outside as Sergio Moore defends the inside going into turn 7. Doesn't look like he's going to get very far ahead, but Carlos Torres closing up right on the rear bumper as well. These guys are still very close.
We're on board now with the 5th place driver, Carlos Torres, and you're looking ahead at Jelenko, second in the standings, and Sergio Mora. Meanwhile, Torres takes a little peek on the inside there, but decides not to do it. They go through the chicane. This is a nice run for Torres in 5th position. He was our second best rookie of last season. He's a veteran now, having a great performance in 5th as Jelenko closes in on Mora as they go through this final corners. They all work their way through. Mora, Jelenko, Torres.
Looks like one of our first guys to head into the pits is actually Tom Ratchey from 9th place.
So there's our marker right there as we keep an eye on that. Now, it'd be interesting to see when Maillard wants to come in. He's running right now all by himself. We don't need to go there, but he's all by himself, so I see no point for him to come in unless he has traffic. So he's out there pacing really fast laps.
Yeah, he's catching up about almost a second a lap. He was 9/10 faster than Carlos Torres ahead of him that last lap, so he's definitely closing in.
Things are settling down up front. Let's see if we can see somebody we haven't heard anything from much here today. Let's take a look at, see what's up with Benjamin Lanowit there. He's in a nice little battle. Benjamin Lanowit in a battle with Simon Van Doon, currently running 14th and 15th. Van Doon in the brown and white colored car. Lanowit is a 3-time champion of the Ironman award. He certainly knows how to put in the laps and bring a car home safely. Ayrton Lanowit has an interesting quote. He says, "I used to consider myself the fastest of the slowest. Now I think I'm the slowest of the fastest." And that's pretty true. He usually is running up there somewhere close to the top 10. He's a little farther down than he usually is today.
Yeah, him and Van Joon as well. Van Joon's a pretty consistent runner as well, and they're always kind of a marker of that pack where if anyone in the top 10 get knocked out, they're probably going to get up there. Both very good racers.
It's funny, you do enough of these broadcasts, and the cars, the drivers that race the same speed always tend to end up together. We talk about it a lot. It happens a lot with 2 drivers who aren't here today, as Amjad Yaman and Yuri Yanis. Seems like it's always Yaman and Yanis together. That's one of the beautiful things about being in a league race, because even though you're not racing up in front, as we're watching a nice battle there between Potts and Eklund, even though you're not always running up front, you can always test yourself and mark yourself with the drivers you race against each week. Now, ahead of those guys, I know that car, that looks like a lap marker. That looks like it might be Mihai Masison in that. That's the Romanian colored car, the Romanian flag colored car. So let's see how, we'll stay on this one and we'll see how these leaders get around this first car that they're lapping.
Yeah, it's start of the lap traffic, so we can actually see it in effect. Hopefully these guys are able to get out of the way with no trouble. Every now and then we have some trouble with lap traffic.
Actually, I'll be it's the Romanian colored flag, the colors of the Romanian flag. And that's one way. That's one way to let them by, is to just pull over there.
The Hiro Kanaya strategy.
Yes, as a back marker, I'm standing up applauding right now. That's well done. We're getting close now. As we're looking at lap 14. It's got to be close to time to come in.
I think one of the other drivers, Yurchelenko, said the pit window was 7 to 17. So I think it will often vary between some drivers. So hopefully some drivers' driving styles use up less fuel than others.
Potts and Eklund. Eklund just stalking Kyle for lap after lap. Just pestering him. He's looking to the outside now. Nope. Gonna see maybe if he can get Kyle to make a mistake.
That's what he really has to hope for, though, because passing on this track is very difficult. Best passing zones, as we've seen so far, probably turn 7 when you get that really good run out of the carousel. But besides that, it's really difficult to pass someone without hoping for a mistake from them. But we've seen plenty of mistakes so far. A couple slowdowns, a couple off tracks.
You know, if you watch Eklund, he's really pushing the boundaries. He's driving in kind of a Jan Koemans type style. It's interesting, as we watch those leaders, it's an interesting contrast in style. Potts drives races smooth like blended whiskey, and Eklund races more like a ferret thrown in a bathtub, scratching and clawing for everything he can get at. Watch him here as they're pretty cool. But Eklund really likes to take it off on the dirt and see if he can get a little extra on the corner exits.
Right ahead of them, it's another lap car. That's Dario Bussi, and also Billy Bob right ahead of him. So a lot of lap traffic. Kyle Potts from the lead actually goes into the pits.
Okay, so here we have our leader in the pits.
Yerstelenko follows him in from 4th place. I'm going to check if he takes any tires or just fuel.
You keep an eye on Potts, and I'll follow our leader around here. Eklund running all by himself. Mora now takes over 2nd place. Carlos Torres now in 3rd place. Deuce Allen moves up to 4th place, but of course he hasn't pitted yet, but that's a nice standings for him. And Dickerson running behind them. Maillard is in the pits. Maillard is actually coming out of the pits now. He's made his pit stop.
Looks like Kyle Potts isn't going to take any tires. I'm looking at Yerstelenko, who actually took left side tires. So that's going to help him on those right side turns. I've noticed so far this season that Yerstelenko is one of those drivers who actually likes taking 2 tires for his pit stop. He did it at Twin Motegi, and that actually really helped him get a run in the latter half of the race. So it's a good strategy by him. It's interesting to see how that correlates to the guys who don't take any tires at all.
Potts, who was our leader, comes out, and there's only 2 cars between him and Evan Maillard. It's actually Yuris Jelenko. If I go back now, if we're on Potts, behind Potts is Yuris Jelenko. Directly behind them is David Tarrant, who hasn't made his pit stop yet, and then Evan Maillard can see our virtual leader before the pit stop.
Eklund into the pits. Sergio Mora as well. So this is where we're going to see who got the best pit stop.
Okay, I'm watching Potts right now. You see him on the screen. We're on what we're calling the leader, as right now he's going through the chicane. So he'll come up here. He'll have a right-hander.
Carlos Torres is also in, who was with Sergio Mora and Yerstelenko before the pit stop. Eklund is out of his pits. Where's
Potts? Here comes Potts.
Eklund's got him.
So there you go. Richard Eklund took his time.
And Mora and Torres actually beat Jelenko out. They're coming out right behind Potts, so they gained some time.
Yeah, if we look at it now, we have Potts running in 2nd position, I believe. Yes, that's be 2nd. But then the real battle here is Mora running in 3rd. Carlos Torres in 4th. And Jelenko now, if we can watch here, looks like Jelenko's going to make a move on Carlos Torres. Jelenko and Torres very close.
He's going to dive to the inside. Just a peek. Doesn't look like he's going to get close enough going down into the carousel.
And then just behind those guys, Evan Maillard.
So I think Yurish Jelinko, he took those left side tires. No one else took tires out of all the other guys who pitted, so it might have cost him a little bit of time. Hopefully that it'll make up for him on track. He might be able to get those passes on those right turns.
Cost him time in the pits, but maybe make up the time on the track.
I think the biggest loser here was Kyle Potts. He lost a lot of time to Eklund, and he might be caught up by Sergio Mora and the rest of the pack behind them.
If we go to Potts right now, running in second position, he has ahead of him the back marker of Yanni Tulianen. So we'll maybe keep an eye on this and see how this plays out, how quickly Potts can get around Tulianen. There's a good chance to get one of our sponsors a little screen time there. Tulianen in the Eagle's Nest Tavern car, that kind of wood-colored car. Might be a little while before Potts gets up there, so we can check back on that. But if he's held up too much, he's got Mora, Torres, and Jelenko closing in fast. And there's Tulianen, another nice back. Standing ovation by me again as Tulianen pulls over. Lets those three cars by without a problem.
Right behind those guys is Evan Maillard. He's closed the gap to about 3 seconds behind Yurish Jelinko at the back of that 3-car pack. So he might be able to get there before the end of the race. They've got about 6 laps to go, 24 laps, right, total?
Right. And really, while Maillard will be disappointed without the win, his real goal is only 2 spots up, is Jelenko. So that's really who he's got his sights set on, because that's who he's battling with in the standings.
I'm kind of surprised Jelenko wasn't as on top of it here as he was in the previous 2 races. The previous 2 races, he qualified in the top 6 and was able to fight for a lead consistently. This race, he's kind of just been behind the leaders the whole race.
Okay, director, see if you can pull up the graphic here. We'll try to get this out of the way, do our business before the excitement really starts. It's time for Last Call, brought to you by Blondie's Bar in Long Beach. Blondie's Bar, the place to be. We're going to start with the last car on the lead lap. That's Mihai Masisen. In that, we talked about it before, the blue and yellow and red in the colors of the Romanian flag. He's an IRL steward. Having a nice race today, currently running in 24th. 1 position up is Benjamin Nelson in the yellow. It's Dries Nice, we're saying. Oh, he's in a battle with Dries Nice. Dries Nice and Benjamin Nelson, they're battling for 22nd and 23rd. We'll stay on this battle for a little bit. That's Nelson is ahead of Nice there. You see Nice closing in. It's nice to see a battle here in the back. 2 yellow cars. Nice is in the brighter yellow car. He's going to peek into the inside. Nope. Going to back off there. And they go through the chicane. And we'll stay on this one here as we have a little momentum. He's going to make the pass. Nice on the outside. Momentum coming out of the chicane. And completes the pass. As they go through the last turn, he's going to have momentum on the outside. I think he's going to get him. And Nice does move ahead. Let's move up a spot. We can't spend too long on these back markers. We're going to go up to Eric Garcia, a veteran, in the Blondie's car. Remember, Last Call is brought to you by Blondie's, and that Charcoal's Blondie's car currently running in 21st position. 1 spot up, David Turin in the yellow, red and yellow car running in 20th position. He's a rookie this year. Derek Holland, who hopes to make a challenge on the Ironman Championship, running in 19th spot. An old friend of GSRC, Richard Losper, having a quiet race, uneventful, peacefully running in 18th position. He prides himself on being clean, wants to do well in the Miles Per Incident Award. 1 spot up, we don't get to see this guy. He's back. Dexter Castro, one of the only drivers now with this race. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Benjamin Lanowet. There we go, Benjamin Lanowet. And ahead of him, we'll jump up to Dexter Castro. He doesn't get to race very much. He's away at Culinary College. Dexter changed his major from soups and salads now. He's majoring in sauces and glazes, so that's going to be challenging, I think. Currently running in, what is that? Running in 16th position. And let's go one more spot. Do we go all the way up to, yeah, we'll go up to Joseph Arrow in a great battle here with Simon Van Doon. Those guys, Joseph Arrow, who was up there running in about 7th position, has dropped back to 15th. Van Doon in 14th. That's Last Call, brought to you by Blondie's Bar in Long Beach. Blondie's Bar, the place to be. Ayrton, let's go back up to the front, see what's going on there.
Well, Eklund still leading the way with a 4.5-second lead. Kyle Potts behind him, but this battle for third is definitely heating up. Sergio Mora defending off Carlos Torres and Yuri Stelenko, and only 2 seconds behind them is Evan Maillard. He's catched up to this pack. He's going to be right on them within the next couple laps.
With only 4 laps to go, we're going to stay now on this battle up here at the front with Mora, Torres, Jelenko, and Maillard. It's funny, Maillard is right there now. Had to put in, took him 20 laps to do it, but he's caught his nearest rival. And with the pace, like Ayrton said, I think he's going to be there pretty darn soon. You know, Torres goes off in the dirt. It looks like Jelenko's going to be able to get the pass as he's moving on the outside. They're coming into that's the final turn. Torres has the inside. He's going to have the shorter distance, but Jelenko's going to have the momentum. Not enough to get there, and it's kind of hard to make a pass into one. Meanwhile, behind them, looking at it, watching intently, is Maillard. Jelenko coming in on Torres. Nose to tail, not going to be able to do it there, and they're certainly not going to be able to do it in 2, is he? I don't think so, Ayrton.
Oh, he's looking to the inside. He got a good run out of turn 2. He's going up to turn 3. This is the blind corner. Evan Maillard actually sneaks a little bit in. Doesn't quite get the pass, but Yuri Stelenko got a great run out of the corner. He's going to get a free pass on Torres. Going into 4. Evan Maillard looking to sneak in there as well as he pokes his nose on the inside, but they're still side by side. Yuri Stelenko and Carlos Torres as they're heading down towards the carousel, almost touching as Carlos Torres has the inside. They have a little bit of contact. Yuri Stelenko is going to get into the dirt, and he's going to lose that position for 5th place to Evan Maillard.
They got together. Jelenko lost a little bit of momentum, and now Maillard is looking at Torres here. He's going to try to go to the inside, side by side now. Jelenko and Torres. Meanwhile, all this is going on. Maillard is pulling away, and Jelenko is going to close in the position. He's going to take it over from Torres. Going to lock into, what would that be, 5th position, I believe. Is that correct? Jelenko 5th, and now Torres in 6th. Maillard is up to 4th.
During all that, Sergio Mora got a much farther ahead from these guys, so they might not be able to catch up to him unless he makes a mistake, but he also got up to Kyle Potts, who's in 2nd place right now. Kyle Potts might have made a mistake, slowed down a little bit. That allowed Sergio Mora to get within distance.
Amazing. You know, you take your what ifs. You know, Potts is worries about his season being ended, from mistakes, and it's hard to come back. You take all your would-haves and could-haves, and it really doesn't get you much. It's if a chicken had lips, it could whistle. You have to kind of go with what you've got. Eklund still our leader. Kyle Potts is in 2nd. Sergio Mora is in 3rd. Maillard in 4th. Jelenko in 5th. Carlos Torres having a great race in 6th. And again, somebody we haven't given a lot of attention to is, let's give the camera on John Deuce Allen, currently running in 7th in the Mountaintop Cabin Rentals car there, in that blue car, having a nice race in 7th place. Another guy who stayed out of trouble, we haven't mentioned much, we'll go one spot back, Dave Galink.
Starting last spot.
Yeah, I hear I have mail, so somebody actually has been listening to the phrase that pays as I got it out just in time, so we'll check that during the break, and congratulations to the person who emailed in. We're on Joseph Arrow now in this battle with Van Doon that's been going on for several laps.
Yeah, Joseph Arrow having a good comeback. He was involved in that instant around 10 laps in and managed to get back to 15th after battling in the top 10. A little unfortunate for him, but good job that he keeps on going.
You know, Ayrton, it's nice to see Richard Eklund. We haven't talked about him much. He's out there in front running comfortably. The way the points work in this series, you know, even though he's missed the first 2 races, a win will get him right up in the standings with the no-show compensation, where he's going to get 100% for the first race he missed and then 90% of his average for the second race. So he's going to have a great total with this one win.
Yeah, he'll probably put him around second place, maybe even first, I'm not sure, with Evan Maillard falling back.
The problem for him will be each race he continues to miss, he'll get scored a smaller percentage of his average. So, and of course, you're not going to be able to keep 100%, 100-point average the whole series, as you're not going to win every race. Well, you never know.
He also has to compete in at least 50% of the races anyways.
That's true. Things have settled down in the top 5 now. Everyone seems to be comfortable where they are. Eklund, not challenged. Potts running about 5 seconds behind Eklund. A couple seconds behind them is Mora. Unchallenged is Evan Maillard. Actually, that's probably who we want to keep an eye on, as Maillard is going to probably have time to run down Mora. It doesn't look like Jelenko is going to be able to stay with Maillard running in 5th position. Torres is getting a little distance. So the faster cars, it's stretching out a bit like an elastic band.
Yeah, well, we're heading on to the last lap now. Richard Eklund coming down to turn 11 right now for the second to final time. Unless one of these guys make a big mistake, maybe a slowdown or off track, no one else should be able to catch the other.
Maillard is within shouting distance of Mora, but it would have to be a really loud shout. He'd need a megaphone, because Mora's got probably 20 car lengths on him. I can't see that happening there. We'll keep an eye here. Congratulations to Richard Eklund. A nice race. And you know, in the past, he would have pressured Kyle Potts and made that pass before the pit stop. He took his time. He waited. He was patient. He did it the easy way, and he's going to get a victory.
Yeah, definitely a different Richard Eklund we're seeing.
And actually, that's Eklund in championship form. He talks about when he's thinking championship, he races more conservatively than he does if he's not thinking championship. He can be more aggressive. Here he does. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, Evan Maillard now pretty close to Sergio Mora. Right on
Maillard is now in much. It's not whisper distance, but it's getting. Oh, he is there now as he closes in as they go through 7. Maillard is there.
Mora could be saving fuel, might have short fueled it. Heading down the S's for the final time. The best passing zone is going to be into the chicane, or maybe out of it going into the final hairpin. Mora skims the dirt a little bit.
Eklund through the chicane now, as our leader makes his way around turn 12.
Oh, Mora makes a mistake. Evan Maillard's going to get the position.
Final corner for Eklund, and Richard Eklund wins race number 4 of the Tidal Influence World Tour. MX-5 World Tour. Congratulations to Richard Eklund. Kyle Potts finishes second. Let's go back to Mora. It's Mora. Maillard got third, and Mora picked up 4th place. Jelenko in 5th. Torres in 6th. Deuce Allen in 7th. Dave Galink in 8th, I believe. Dickerson in 9th. Tom Rathy in a battle here with Marcelo Pajan. It looks like Rathy's going to get there for 10th. Pajan in 11th. Overgaard in 12th. Van Doon is going to get the best of that battle with Joseph Arrow, as Van Doon's going to come across in 13th, Arrow in 14th. Lanowet brings it home in 15th position. On the lead lap, Dexter Castro, welcome back, 16th position. Sergio Alvarez going to get 17th. Richard lost for a quiet 18th position as he brings it across the line. Derek Holland, nice job for him, finishing on the lead lap. 20th position to David Tarrin. In the Blondies car, Eric Garcia in 21st. And I think do it here as we'll go to break. Now, when we go to break, I want you guys to watch the slideshow that tells about what races are coming up on GSRC. We will be back for interviews, final results, and of course, the final sponsor plugs, which all of you are going to stay for because it's important. We'll be back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel coverage of the Tidal Influence MX-5 World Tour Race 4 from Sonoma. We're going to run through the final results as we had a great race. Richard Eklund, our victor, his first race of the season. The Season 7 champion comes in with a victory. Second place is a rookie, Kyle Potts, had a nice finish in second. Evan Maillard, the defending champion, in third. Sergio Mora was fourth. Yuris Jelenko fifth. Carlos Torres, a nice job from him, running in sixth. John Deuce Allen, seventh position. Dave Galink in eighth. Dakota Dickerson had trouble early, couldn't really make his way back up into to get much notice here, finishing in ninth. And a top 10 for Marcello Pajan in 11th. Ayrton?
Stefan Overgaard is in 11th place, then Simon Van June finished in 12th, Joseph Arrow finished in 13th, then Benjamin Lanouette in 14th, Dexter Castro in 15th, Sergio Alvarez in 16th, Richard Lotsburn 17th, and 18th was Derek Holland, 19th David Tyrone, and Eric Garcia in 20th.
21st was Tom Rathie and Benjamin Nelson in 22nd. Those guys finish out the cars on the lead lap. Dries Nice in 23rd. Mihai Masison, Yanni Tulianen, Daniel Kent, Jiren Yerson, Jordy Fike in 28th, Dario Bussi in 29th, in 30th, Billy Bob Wright, who had that incident we saw, finishing in 30th, Al Heaton 31st, Travis Swinky in 32nd position, and in 33rd, with the early lap problem from Japan, Tomiko Kono rounds out our 33-car field. So now we're going to do some interviews. And I think first up on our list, am I correct, is Evan Maillard. Ayrton, is that who you have?
Yep. We'll just get him in the booth. Evan, you here? Evan?
Evan Maillard started in 30th position, made a drive all the way through. I think we have him now, and he finished in, had a nice third place finish. And I think he's there, Ayrton.
And third. Well, congratulations, first of all, Evan. That was an amazing drive. What were your impressions kind of at the start of the race when you had your bad qualifying lap?
Well, my impressions were that I would never finish up front, and apparently I was wrong. So, yeah, I'll take the third place. It's pretty nice, actually. Even if it's not a win, I'll take it. I never expected to win third, to end up so much in front anyway, so...
If you actually got qualifying lap, do you think you would have been battling for the lead?
Definitely, yeah, with Richard. It would have been lots of fun too, but yeah, I had fun going through the traffic as well, so it's all good.
Well, yeah, it was definitely an impressive run. And what are your thoughts on the next race? That's Laguna Seca. Are you fast there?
Laguna Seca is actually one of my favorite tracks, so I'm expecting to be pretty quick. Maybe going for a win. If I can make it there, if I don't have a race this weekend, but we'll see.
Hey, Evan, just a couple of this. Bill, good news is you finished ahead of Jelenko. You got by him, so that was good. But I'm still denied my Eklund Maillard battle, so let's see if we can get that for Laguna Seca, okay?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've battled with Richard. It's been very long.
Always something that keeps
you.
It's always something that keeps you guys separated. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, thank you, Evan.
Thank you.
Okay, I forgot who's next up on our list here. Is it Kyle Potts? Is that where we're going?
Yep.
Potty, do you have me?
There
it is. He's coming in. Kyle, can you hear me?
Bill, I can hear you.
Congratulations, second place, much better result than last time. Let's go to your pit stop, because that was really the turning point. We were watching Eklund, and during the broadcast, we were deciding if he was going to make the move before the pit stop or wait till after, and maybe get you in the pits. You didn't go so well in the pits. What happened?
Took too much fuel. I didn't do any practice. Didn't know. I asked a few people before the race what it should be, and nobody really wants to tell you. So I put in 2.1, and I figured that was I was actually worried that wasn't going to be enough because I wasn't even paying attention to my fuel or anything during practice. A terrible preparation. But I knew it right as I seen him coming out of the pits, and I knew it right then. I mean, as I was going in, I was like, I'm going to have too much fuel. But the whole time before that, I'm going to have too much fuel. I'm going to have too much. So I kind of sucked myself out. But second place, again, it's whatever. I really wanted that first place. I come to win, don't come to second. So, but hey, I'll take it. Better than last week, like you said, definitely.
Well, it's going to move you up the point standings. And, it's funny, with the competition just so tight, I mean, to put in even a half a gallon too much fuel will cost you the seconds that you actually have a hard time making up on the track.
Yeah, and it's one thing that I've known about myself for a long time. It's pretty difficult to pass me, even if you got significant pace over me. I know how to place my car and everything, so I was confident. I was hoping he was going to follow me in there, but at the same time, he only took 1 gallon, so he would have passed me anyway. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be working on the pit strategy for next week. So hopefully we can get a W. The whole time after I came out of the pits, I was over the fact that I wasn't going to get first place. I was really worried about Evan because I seen that coming, and I was like, there is no way I'm letting him come up here and get this second place off of me from starting in, 30th or something like that.
Yeah, so, it was amazing. We watched it through the broadcast.
I bet. I'm excited to watch him do that.
Okay, well, congratulations, man. It's great to have you in the series, and we will see you at Laguna Seca. What do you like? Do you like that track?
No.
We'll keep that in mind for next week. Congratulations.
Yeah, have a good one.
How do you think he feels about Laguna Seca, Aaron?
It seems like all the fast guys like Laguna Seca, and then at least the foreign fast guys. I don't think Americans like Laguna Seca.
Okay, next up, our final interview. Do we have Richard Eklund up there, Joe? Okay, Aaron, go ahead. See if you can get Richard.
Thanks, Bill. Richard, you here?
Hello, mate.
Well, definitely a good run. What were your impressions on that race overall?
It was pretty okay. It's a shame Evan started in the back, and Uros and Tomoki got together in the first lap, so it could have been better, but I mean, yeah, it was okay.
So that is definitely going to put you up in the points for sure. You're going to have those 2 off races are going to add up, and probably put you in the top 3 at least in the point standings. Do you think you're going to manage to keep on winning races, coming to races?
I'm not gonna do the full season. I don't have like 5 tracks or something like that. So, and I'm not planning on purchasing any of them. So this is just for fun this season.
That's a little interesting because Bill and I were saying during the race that you seem to be driving like you do when you drive for the championship, driving a lot more conservatively behind Kyle Potts before the pit stop, rather than going really aggressive and all out. Was there a reason for that?
Just because I hadn't seen his name before. I didn't know if he had known how to do pit stops, so I figured he was going to be too slow in the pits, and I would just pass him there. That's all.
Oh, good judgment, of course. So will you be here for Laguna Seca next race?
I think so. I should be.
Well, it'll be good to see you there. Apparently it's Evan Maillard's favorite track, so he's going to be a tough contender there.
Yeah, he's super quick there, but he's fast everywhere, so it's no different.
Well, congrats again. Good win. Good run.
Thanks.
Okay, back to you, Bill.
It's interesting, Aaron. We talked earlier about league racing and how you get to know the competitors. There's Richard saying, I don't know Kyle Potts. I'm not sure. I'm going to wait to see what's going on, if he can make a pit stop or what kind of driver he is. It's interesting to see how league racing strategy is different from what you would usually see in like where you're in a iRacing series where you're just out there having fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Richard played it the right way. If you don't know a driver, you don't want to try to be too aggressive, of course.
Well, we've done everything we need to do. We're going to do and I want all of you guys to pay attention to these plugs because sponsors are paying to have this on the air. So you guys need to listen to this and support these sponsors because without them, we'd all be, we wouldn't be doing anything right now. Well, I'd be racing with you guys. Probably Ayrton too, for that matter. So let's go ahead and thank some of our sponsors. Of course, our title sponsor, Tidal Influence. Ayrton asked me today, he said, Bill, where do I go to get a environmental impact study for my multi-million-dollar commercial construction project? And if I've heard that once, I've heard that a million times from sim drivers. So I'm going to give you all the answer to that. You want to go to Tidal Influence. They're an ecological consulting firm based in Long Beach, California that restores wetlands and saves and studies endangered species and educates children about our environment. For more information, go to TidalInfluence.com. And if you're stressed out from all the pressures of your multi-million-dollar construction project, you may need a vacation. Well, why don't you try going up to the California San Bernardino Mountains, to the best kept secret Green Valley Lake? And if you want to go there, your best choice for lodging is, of course, Mountaintop Cabin Rentals. So you can go to gblcabinrentals.com to find out about lodging there. And when you're in Green Valley Lake, make sure to stop into Eagle Nest Tavern for a cold drink and a hot meal. But I'll tell you this, Matthew is not going to serve you if you think you've had too much, even though you're in complete control of your faculties. Matthew, that was a cold walk home, buddy. And we'd also like to thank the companies and equipment and software we use on our broadcast. iRacing.com, XSplit, Twitch TV, Audio Technica, Behringer, AverMedia, and of course, post-ups here that I use for my note-keeping technique that resembles John Nash. A special thanks to Eric Eckholm, whose music is not only found here on GSRC, but in TV commercials, movie trailers, iTunes, and Spotify. If you like our music, and I don't know why you wouldn't like our music, tell Eric where you heard it on Twitter at Eric Eckholm. Additional thanks to Casey Lalonde, who also provides us with music for our broadcast. You can find more of his music at CaseyLalonde.bandcamp.com. I have been to Bandcamp. It's a good thing. I like that. Thanks to my mic mate, it says Brian on my script, but that's wrong. It's the youthful sage, Ayrton Ellis. And of course, our director is not Kevin Brown that it says on my script here. It's Joe Peak. But what never changes, Dougie Brown, who is always provides the camera locations. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, you can find it at, I'm not saying www because it takes too long, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com, along with archive races and race highlights. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at, you probably guessed it, Global Sim Racing Channel. The Tidal Influence MX-5 World Tour returns next Saturday, March 14th, for the second installment of the California Trilogy, when the series takes the 3-hour drive to Laguna Seca. But next up on the Global Sim Racing Channel is the Lionheart Racing Series Season 2, Race 8 from Atlanta. That's Wednesday, March 11th, so you don't want to miss that. And now that we've got all the housekeeping out of the way, it's time for us to say have fun storming the castle. So until next time, I'm going to get this right this time. Race hard, race clean, and we'll see you on the track.